Welcome to Creating Abundance, sharing inspirational stories from experts around the world. Tap into your inner wisdom at alanacahoon.com. Hi, welcome to Creating Abundance. I'm Alana Cahoon. It is my pleasure to introduce the top-selling author and speaker, David Medansky, known as the Health Guy, because he empowers CEOs, executives, and individuals to master 9 simple golden rules to live a healthy life. David struggled with his own weight issues until his doctor told him to either lose weight or find a new doctor. He lost the weight, and he knows firsthand the frustrations to maintaining a healthy body. Since then, David has authored several books, including If Not Now, When? Break the Chains of Stop Dieting, Start Thinning. He is also producing and hosting Jaded Health, a streaming TV series centered around the topics of health, wellness, and fitness. Welcome, David.
Oh, thank you, Alana. I appreciate being a guest on your show today.
Yeah. So we were just chatting earlier about how you originally are from Chicago. Is that correct?
Yes, I moved to the Phoenix metropolitan area in December of 1988 when the wind chill factor was minus 50 below for an entire week.
That's unbelievable. 50 below. And I complain about Rochester, New York weather. Yeah. So what's the weather like for you right now?
It's about 60 degrees and sunny.
Oh, that sounds so good. You might be getting a visitor.
That's fine. We have extra room in the house.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Everybody heard that, right? So this is good news for me. So I appreciate, I've got a few of your books, and as you can see, I've already taken some notes here. But before we even move to that, could you just share how it was that you ended up getting to the point where your doctor said you need to lose weight? And I think what I read was if you didn't lose weight, you had to find a new doctor.
Yes, actually, it was in July of 2016. At the time, I was age 61. And the doctor told me, based on my lab results and the fact that I was fat, I had a 95% chance for a fatal heart attack.
Ooh.
And he gave me 2 options. He says, you can lose weight or find a new doctor because I don't want you dying on my shift. So the light bulb went off because he strongly encouraged me to find a new doctor because he'd been after me for 8 years to lose the weight. And if I did lose weight on a diet, I gained it all back, sometimes even more. So I was embarrassed and I was frustrated. And this time was different. And during the next 4 months, I shed 50 pounds, nearly 25% of my total body weight. More importantly, I've kept it off. And then last year in June of 2022, at age 67, I hiked up Mount Kilimanjaro.
No.
So I don't let age be a factor in people saying whether they can get healthier or not. And what I've learned is when I was younger, I was fit and trim and healthy, and life gets in the way, with family obligations and work responsibilities. Before I knew it, I stopped exercising, started eating fast foods and convenience foods, and the weight crept up on me. And that's what happens with a lot of people. You gain 5 or 10 pounds a year. In 5 or 10 years, you're, 50, 60 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
And then you hear the national brands advertise, lose 20, 30 pounds your first month guarantee. Well, you may lose the weight. The problem is it's not sustainable. Diets are temporary, extreme, hard to stick with, and a lot of them are potentially dangerous to our health. So I went back and I started reading my books from the 1970s by Paul and Patricia Bragg, Jack LaLanne, Richard Simmons, William Duffy's Sugar Blues.
I remember all of these guys and gals. Absolutely. Yeah. So, because I'm so curious, and I know everyone here wants to know, how did you keep the weight off? So please continue.
What I discovered in those authors is they were talking about basic principles.
Okay.
And then I started reading books for current authors, and they were promoting their products, their, programs, whatever. And it was more like, well, if you didn't buy their products or services, you'd fail. I thought something is wrong. So I've identified what I call the 9 simple golden rules. And when I go through them with you, people are like, well, I know that. And I understand you know it. Are you doing it? And it's not so much what we can do, it's what we will do. And so the 9 golden rules, real simple, is to drink an adequate amount of water, a minimum of 64 ounces a day, ideally 1/2 of your total body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, drink 100 ounces of pure water.
And why
Unless,
is that? Why is that important? And I know in my mind why water is important, but I'd like to hear your expertise around that.
so the reason water is so important to us is our bodies are 60 to 70% water, not soda, diet soda, fruit juices, or milk, water. And think of it this way: an average person can go about 40 days without food. However, most people are unable to go more than 3 or 4 days without water or some form of liquid. So
Okay,
water is very important, for overall health. It removes the toxins from your body. It hydrates us, and it's great for the skin. A lot of great benefits.
great. So is that rule number one?
Correct.
Excellent. Okay, I'm very excited about the 9 golden rules.
Okay, golden rule number 2 is to avoid the highly processed, ultra processed, and manufactured foods.
How do you do that? Because it seems like they are everywhere.
Well, you do it by avoiding purchasing them, reading labels to see the ingredients. Most people read nutritional fat panels wrong. They'll look at the calories, they'll look at the grams of sugar, the fat, the protein. Very few people read the ingredients, which is a very small print at the bottom. And it's very small print because they don't want you to know what you're consuming.
I never thought of it that way, but I think you're absolutely right. Yes.
Third golden rule is to eat real holistic whole foods. So eat the apple, eat an orange instead of drinking the apple juice or the orange juice. Orange juice is one of the most unhealthiest beverages you can consume. People are like, I thought it was healthy. That's a marketing gimmick. It takes 4 to 8 medium oranges to make a glass of orange juice. And most of the fiber is removed, and so it's all sugar. So the question is, would you sit and eat 4 to 8 oranges at one time? For
No.
most people, the answer is no, of course. So, but that's how much sugar you're ingesting by drinking a glass of orange juice. So that's golden rule number 3. Golden rule number 4 is to eat small portions. Our food portions have been supersized without people realizing it. In the 1900s, the average size dinner plate was 9 inches in diameter. Today,
Really?
it's 12 inches.
Yeah.
Except in Europe, where it's still 9 inches, other than the UK. If you go to a restaurant, the average serving size dish is 13 to 15 inches. So what I tell my clients is when you go out, either split a meal with a friend or spouse, or get a to-go box right away, cut the portion in half, put half to go, and eat the rest. And then you get 2 meals for the price of one, so you're saving money.
That is a fantastic tip. I've never heard that before, but getting that to go kit, whatever, right away, right in the beginning, cutting it right in half so that you don't eat fast and indulge. And I never knew about the plates. My mother, I grew up with my mother watching Jack LaLanne, and she was on one diet after the next. And I remember at one point she would use the smaller plates to put food on, but she would stack the food up to here. So I don't know that it was effective.
Yeah. What I recommend to clients is to use a salad plate instead of a dinner size plate. And if possible, use a blue plate and avoid red and yellow plates. The reason being blue, the color blue is a natural appetite suppressant.
Really? All right. Did
Red
you
and
hear
yellow,
that? Blue, natural suppressant.
appetite suppressant. Red and yellow are appetite stimulants.
Oh, aren't those
That's
the
why
colors of
McDonald's,
McDonald's?
Burger King, Carl's Jr., Wendy's, Denny's, all the fast food places use red and yellow in their marketing.
That's amazing. That's
So the other thing with water, it also acts as an appetite suppressant. And a
Okay.
lot of times when we think we're hungry, we're actually thirsty.
Right. Hmm.
75% of the US adult population is chronically dehydrated. And there's a direct correlation to 72% of the US adult population being overweight, of which 42% are clinically obese.
My goodness, we have really entered a new phase of weight gain. So your work is very, very important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a friend and colleague, and what she says is the food industry will get you sick. Big pharma will keep you sick. And the diet and weight loss industries are aiding and abetting both of them.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Okay.
golden rule number 5 is to eat slow, which you mentioned, because we all tend to eat fast. We're in a hurry. A lot of times, I call what we do is mindless eating. We'll be
Yes.
working at our computer. We'll look down, the sandwich or whatever we're eating is gone. It's like, well, where did it go? Or you're watching TV and all of a sudden the bag of chips or the cookies or whatever you're eating is gone. You've consumed the whole thing without realizing it. So Mark David wrote a book called The Slow Down Diet. And in there, he advocates if you take 5 minutes for breakfast, give yourself 10. And at a minimum, give yourself 30 minutes for lunch and 30 minutes for dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm not advocating that you have to eat 3 meals a day, nor am I advocating that you have to eat small meals throughout the day, nor am I advocating that you have to eat 1 or 2 large meals throughout the day. Everybody is different. We have different preferences, different lifestyles, different obligations. And so you have to figure out what's going to work best for you. Golden rule number 6 is to get adequate sleep, at least 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night.
So tell us about that, because I work with a lot of people who are stressed out, and of course, overweight often is matched with too much stress. You know, you're eating fast, you're not paying attention because you're overworking or always on the go. And then the ability to wind down at night. I know I teach mindfulness techniques, but I would love to hear how you coach your clients to help them get that real solid sleep at night.
First thing I tell them is to remove all electronics other than an alarm clock from their bedroom.
Okay.
So if they have a TV in the bedroom, take it out. Because even if the TV is off, it's still emitting blue light and electromagnetic energy. Your cell phone does the same thing. So my wife and I keep our cell phones in our offices as opposed to the bedroom.
Okay.
The other thing is keep it as dark as possible and keep it as cool as possible. And stop watching TV about an hour before you go to bed to let your mind unwind.
Okay.
You know, maybe read a book or just, relax so that you can, focus on getting getting sleep, that you're not wound up.
Right, right. And these are classic, and but we forget about the simple, the dark. When you were describing that, I'm picturing a cave where it's just dark. There are no distractions. It's eliminating distractions.
Exactly. A lot of people may keep their computers in their rooms.
Yeah.
Keep the computer away from, the bedroom. Again, the bedroom is for sleep.
Right. And I think I also mentioned in one of your books about doing your best not to eat too close to bedtime.
That's the next golden rule number
Okay.
7. I call it rest to digest.
Oh, I love that. Rest to
And so
digest.
it's an intermittent fast. And again, when people hear the word intermittent fast or fasting, they roll their eyes and they think, oh, starvation. It's not the same. Starvation is when you don't know when your next meal is coming from or where it will, come from. Fasting is a deliberate choice to abstain from food. And the way I advocate it is to do a 12-hour fast. And most people are able to do it without realizing it. So if you stop eating 3 hours before you go to sleep and you get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, and your first meal is to break the fast, not necessarily breakfast, but to break the fast 2 hours after you wake up, that's 12 hours.
Mm.
And most people are like, I can do that. And so let's say you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night and you stop eating at 7 o'clock at night and you get 8 hours of sleep and your first meal of the day is 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. That's an intermittent fast.
Yeah.
And what I always tell people is when you first get up in the morning, drink a minimum of 8 ounces of water because it helps you rehydrate. It also is acts as an appetite suppressant. So when I get up in the morning, first thing I do is I drink a 22-ounce glass of water.
Excellent. Yeah.
And then I'll have a cup of black coffee. Then I'll maybe drink some more water. And then my first meal is anywhere between 10 and 11 o'clock in the morning because I'm not hungry. And your
Right.
body gets used to it. Now, when you break the fast, it doesn't mean to go eat breakfast cereal. Having breakfast, like a breakfast cereal, that's a myth created by Kellogg's and Post because they want to sell more breakfast cereals. And
Right.
those are manufactured, highly processed, ultra processed foods.
Right. Anything in a box. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not so much the food we're eating, it's what they've done to the food that we're eating.
Yeah. The
Because
chemicals,
what
the additives, right?
exactly, because the cereals that we were eating back in the 50s and 60s were wholesome, healthy foods.
Yeah.
Now it's all for profit. It's a lot of chemicals, a lot of additives, shelf life stability, a lot of added sugars,
Yeah.
different things people aren't aware of. So they think it's healthy until you read the ingredients.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate because the packaging, the marketing makes you think that you're eating something wholesome, and maybe you are, and that's where you read the labels, that really small font that you were talking about earlier. And when you start looking up and seeing what these ingredients are, it's like, why on earth would I put this in my body? Would you
Exactly.
pick up a handful of dirt and put it in your mouth? Would you put bleach in your mouth? Would you put dye in your mouth? And yet that's really what we're doing in these very minuscule levels. But as with anything, it builds up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what happens is it's a poison we're putting in our body, especially sugar. However, it won't kill you right away. And as you said, it builds up. So over time, after 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that's when you start seeing the symptoms of the disease that's being created from what you're eating. If you're over age 55, there's an 80% probability you're either a type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetic. So
Mm.
imagine that 80% of the US population over age 55 is either a type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetic. And a lot of people aren't even aware there may be a type 2 diabetic.
Oh my
And it's
goodness.
all preventable and it's reversible.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wonderful. Okay. It's reversible.
Ex-
Changing your diet, which isn't,
exactly.
and I just want to mention that word diet because that word diet, it has a really kind of scary connotation. Diet simply means what you put in your body. Diet is what you eat every day. That's
Exactly.
really your diet. Yeah.
Exactly. Golden rule number 8 is to think positive because 80% of our thoughts are negative.
Oh no.
So imagine reversing that and changing it to be 80% positive instead of negative.
I love that. Yes, positive thinking, a positive mindset is really, I think, the only way you can lose weight, maintain weight is to think positive. Because if you beat yourself up, it's just a losing battle in any aspiration.
Exactly. And it's not so much that you want to lose weight, you want to reduce weight or shed weight because when you lose something, you want to tend to find it. Like if you lose your keys, you want to look for your keys. So that's, why I like to use, words because words have impact.
Yeah,
So you want to reduce weight, shed weight, release it.
I like
Very
that. Shed, letting go, let it go, release the weight.
exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
And then golden rule number 9 is real simple. It's to walk every day. Walking is one of the most underrated physical activities you can do. Rebel Wilson, the actress, lost 77 pounds in 1 year simply walking an hour each day. Now, I realize not everybody has an hour to walk each day. However, Mindy Kaling also lost weight. And what she did is when she had a 10 or 15-minute break, instead of going on social media or texting friends, she would go for a 10 or 15-minute walk. Well, if you go for a 10 or 15-minute walk throughout the day and you do it 4 or 5 times, that's 40 to 50 minutes or an hour throughout the day. So you don't have to do your physical activity all at one time.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, by the time a person will drive to the gym, do their exercise, and come back, before they even get to the gym, you can be done with a walk.
That's a good point. And I'm going to promote having pets. I just walked my dog this morning. By having my dog, whom I love, who brings me joy, happiness, sometimes purpose in the day, I have to walk. I have to walk. And then you meet other people and you see, neighbors. There's a lot more to it. So I think walking absolutely is so important for our physical activity, but it also produces endorphins. It brings your mood. It boosts your mood up. And it's good for community.
The other thing is, if you work from home or you work at an office in front of a computer, get up, periodically. And I'll get up and go to the kitchen and get a glass of water. So when you're just moving and getting up, it's physical activity. Too often people sit for 3-4 hours without getting up or stretching or doing anything. So if you just do little simple things and you do them consistently and you give it enough time, you'll see dramatic results. And the key word is enough time and consistently.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is a lot of people will do a New Year's resolution.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to eat healthy and lose weight. And most people will break that resolution after 3 or 4 weeks. Well, what's happening a lot of times is people will start eating healthier and exercising. However, the scale is not moving because they're replacing their fat with muscle. Muscle and fat weigh the exact same amount. 5 pounds is 5 pounds. The difference being muscle is denser, so it takes up less room. So I had a client that experienced this, not at New Year's, but during the first few weeks of the program, where the scale wasn't moving. And so I asked him, I said, "Are you exercising more?" He goes, "Yeah." At the time, he was living in Florida. He says, "I'm riding my bicycle, 5 miles a day. I'm walking." I said, "Well, how are your clothes feeling?" He goes, "Well, they're loose." And people have actually asked if I lost weight. He says, "The scale doesn't indicate that." I said, "Don't go by the scale. Go by your clothes." Because again, people are replacing the fat with muscle that weighs the same amount. And that's why people sometimes will stop. It's like they're not seeing immediate results, again, from the advertising and marketing they see on national brands on TV, hear it on the radio, lose 20, 30 pounds your first month. Well, I'm doing everything. I'm not losing. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Nothing is wrong. And the way I approach it is I ask potential clients, would you like to weigh 24 to 48 pounds lighter by this time next year? And most people who want to reduce weight will say yes. Okay, can you lose 2 to 4 pounds per month? Not per week, per month.
Right.
And like, yeah, that's doable. Okay, well, if you average 2 to 4 months of releasing the weight for 12 consecutive months, some months will be more, some will be less. On average, 2 to 4 pounds. At the end of a year, you're 24 to 48 pounds lighter. The problem is people want immediate results and immediate gratification.
Yeah.
And again, what I advocate is creating a lifestyle, something that where you build new habits, habits that you enjoy and habits that work for you, because everybody is different and not one size fits all.
Right. Right. So you've said a number of golden nuggets in addition to your golden rules. One is pay attention to how your clothes fit, not the scale. And I think that's crucial, really important, especially if you're exercising, working out with weights. I'm bicycling, you are absolutely building muscle, which is healthy. That's what you want. Your muscles support your spine, support your balance, etc. So that's really good. And then the other thing, 2 pounds a month. And in my mind, that's how you take it off and keep it off. That's how you shed and maintain that weight. You know, I don't know how exactly you did it, but most people I know who drop a lot of weight right away have the just as easy of a time bringing it right back up.
I'm happy to share that. I went on HCG. It's no longer available from what I understand, because the pharmaceuticals have found out that they can make more money from Ozempic, Wegovy, and other, products that they're promoting. HCG is a hormone from pregnant women, and it tricks the body into burning fat as opposed to muscle. So I was on 550 calories per day for 6 weeks. And
Wait,
500
that's all you consume was 550 calories per day?
per day. And if you did that without the HCG, you would burn muscle instead of fat, and it's unhealthy. I was drinking a lot of water, and I had 6 other friends that lost weight the same way. All 6 have regained all their weight, some more. The difference being is I changed my lifestyle and eating habits.
Yeah.
They reverted back because they'd lost the weight to their old habits. And that's what happens when people go on a diet. They look at it as a goal. Think of a diet as a sprint. There's a finish line, where a lifestyle is a marathon. And in this marathon, there's no finish line. The average person will attempt 4 to 5 new diets each year. And over a lifetime, the average person will attempt 126 different diets. So what does that tell you? It tells you diets don't work.
Right.
And think of it this way. If diets did work, all those companies would be out of business after a few years, and we all be healthier and thinner.
That's awesome. Okay, so your website is
Stopdieting.co. I was
stopdieting.co.co.
unable to afford the M.
That's great. Yeah, I got my M years ago. I didn't know how lucky I was going to be. And your new streaming TV series when does that launch?
It's premiering January 18th of 2024.
And how do we find that?
It's on Roku. It'll be on Amazon Fire TV. It'll be on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV.
Oh, excellent. Okay. I'm going to jump
it,
on it
yeah.
and see that. And then your books, are they all on Amazon or?
They're all on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. And if you want, go to your local library. If they don't have it, they can order it for you so you can get the book for free. Of course, you have to return it to the library, but just ask the librarian to order it. It's available to them to order.
Yeah. And okay, and I just want to read from your book, If Not Now, When? And this is at the very back, and it's called Appendix D, I Begin the Day. Read the words below out loud to start each day. I begin the day expecting amazing things. I begin the day being grateful for what I have and what I will receive. I begin the day open to receiving new ideas, new information, and new connections. I begin the day letting go of what's not serving me. Some refer to this as bless and release. I begin the day being a positive influence on others. Quote, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, grateful, healthy, and happy. Quote by Charles Hunnell. And the final way that you begin the day, Napoleon Hill began his day reciting, O divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom, with which to make wiser use of the riches you gave me at birth, consisting in the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I desire. Lots of wisdom, amazing tips, the 9 golden rules. David Medansky, thank you very much, the health guy. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thanks, Alana. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Creating Abundance. Be sure to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next podcast and get your free ebook at alanacahoon.com/ebook.